Hey, hey, hey. I think actually this is my second Facebook Live today. It could have been I did it last week, but I think it was today. Um, and I was supposed to have another one. And Callie, I'm so sorry. I totally flubbed up. I was so engrossed in some writing that I was doing. And all morning I kept telling myself, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. And then I look up and I'm 30 minutes late. So I'm sorry, girl. But I got my friend right here, Dr. Brian Dooley. Brian is oh, my cool little thing went away. Is a one of the teachers at Sherman College of Chiropractic, and he and I love to talk chiropractic philosophy. So today we're kind of like talking chiropractic philosophy, but in a different way. And I'm not sure which of Stevenson's 33 principles fit this, but I know Dr. Brian can figure it out because he teaches
I got it.
these principles at school. And so the whole idea is our thoughts become reality. And why we're even talking about this today is this idea that when we're students, we're all like in it, like we're studying for 100 hours a week. We're in class, we're in clinic. It's like such go time. There's your beautiful wife.
Hey, beautiful wife, good to see you.
And congratulations, mama, on a Chiro student. That's so exciting. And then something magically happens when we walk across the stage and get the diploma. Then there are those who subscribe to this idea of, now I need to take a break. Now I deserve a vacation. Now I need to have this like balance and only be, like, I don't want to be a workaholic. But if somebody had accused you of being a student-aholic, would you be okay with that? And if so, why was that okay? But now when you actually have an opportunity to radically transform people's lives because their brains, Sarah, that one's for you, their brains are in your hands, it's all about pausing and going easy. So, Brian, which of Stevenson's 33 principles are we talking about here?
Well, as I go back, so we're going to go back a little ways, and if you just do the triune of life, which is that life is a triunity of three necessary united factors, namely intelligence, force, and matter. So life, if you go to the principles, I get why they're saying life, but the last word of premise or principle one is existence, right? Keeping things in existence. So really, I think, to me, life in this case is going to be existence. So existence is three united factors: intelligence, force, and matter. You can go to the perfection of the triune. You want 100% existence. You need 100% of all three: intelligence, force, and matter. So this comes to, so if you want your practice to be in existence, you can't just think about it, right? And you can't just buy a computer, and you can't just buy some pens, some bent pens. You can't just buy some spine keychains, and you can't just buy a chiropractic table and a spine. Now you got to put some work into it. And I think, and I get it. I see it every quarter. I see the life get sucked out of their poor little faces because chiropractic school is challenging in that the amount of material, if they can get into school, there's no doubt in my mind that they can handle the material. The issue is how fast it comes at them and the volume of it. It is just relentless to where they do feel so tired. But you want to tell them, great, when you get to the end, take a week off, and then it's time to get to work. Ideally, if you've done some work along the way as to where your practice is going to be, what it's going to look like. We talked philosophy, 5 branches. We have metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, we have politics, and we have aesthetics. The aesthetics side of philosophy is, what does the practice look like, right? What's the technique that a practice or member is going to experience? What do the walls look like? How many garbage cans do you have? Do you have enough pens? What color pens? Where do you put the pens? Do you have a stapler? Do you have a fax machine? Do you have a printer? Are you paying for a copier service, or are you just doing it out of a printer, or are you using a printer down the street? All those different, what's the walls going to look like? What's on your walls? What are your messages going to sound like? What's your phone greeting? How do you handle that phone greeting? You know, we've talked before. What are the whiteboard topics? What are you going to talk about that patient every day? What is your system to onboard them, and what is your system to keep them on board? And there's so many components, and all that is the matter. And so think about that stuff as being the matter. It's like a pile of Legos, right? And so, and in my head, I can say, well, I'm going to make a sculpture out of Albert Einstein of Legos, right? And that's certainly possible. Hey, Brianna. And so it's certainly possible, but that Lego is not going to look like Albert Einstein unless you put some effort into it.
Nice.
And so that's where intelligence, force, and matter will put something into existence. And so that principle, even though it's really talking universal intelligence, it is a universal principle, which means it applies to everything. So I would then go down to, right, yeah, principle 6, right? So it's going to take time. You can't just, that's going to happen. And even that took time, but you can't just will it to happen. It's going to be this stuff done over this period of time. So some planning would help. What are we going to have here? You're also going to have, you know, cause and effect, principle 17. Your practice is going to get open because you do these 973 things that you have to do. And you have to do the 973 things. And within those 973 things that have to be done, they have to be done a very certain way. I mean, I understand, I'll hear students, former students, that get so frustrated if they choose to take insurance. And why is it so difficult to deal with A, B, C, D, and E company? It's not. You're filling out the application wrong. Now, what the issue is, the application, it may be convoluted and confusing. So I totally understand that. But at the end of the day, we applied the wrong force to that application. And that's probably why it got rejected, most cases. So the good news is that then, all right, then my success is going to be due to me as well as my failures, for the energy that I put in. And so you have an opportunity. If anybody wants to buy a principle at Sherman College, we'll gladly sell one to you because they're up on the wall. Well, I bought principle 15. I say I bought. My wife and I bought. And so principle 15 is motion without the effort of force. Matter can have no motion without the effort of force, the application of force by intelligence. So I've got to plan what I want my office to be. Right, I've got the stuff in my office. I've got my computers, I got my copiers, I've got my wall stuff, I've got my tables, got my flip charts, I got my whiteboards. But now I got to go to work. What good does a referral strategy mean if you don't ever ask your patients for referrals? You know, guess what? That referral strategy is not in existence because you're not, or your CAs, whatever the plan is, are not putting that plan actually in motion, which would be a violation of principle 15 and the triangle of life and the perfection of the triune.
You know, I encourage everyone to really consider, you know, like Dr. Brian was talking about insurance and this application. Like, train yourself to see beyond even if it's a wall that's in front of you. Because I grew up with this philosophy, and I don't know where I got it from. I guess it's principle 34. If one other schmuck on the planet can do it, so can I. Like, literally, I remember I've said that to myself my whole life, and like, stop for a minute and think about, all right, this is an insurance application.
Right.
I have made it through chiropractic college. You know, like, I have birthed a child. I have survived whatever. Put it into perspective. Or like, I'll talk to so many docs who are like, I just don't even know how to do like an LLC or get that stuff. And I'm like, whoa, if that's really and truly the greatest challenge you have to opening a business, we the money, man, because that's about a 20-minute process on your state government website. So just like put the challenges, and I'm not trying to minimize anyone's struggle, but more just trying to encourage all of you, whatever that struggle is, what is its relationship to practice?
Right.
What is its relation to, and how far have you already come? Like, one of the assignments that I have my private coaching clients do is simply go through and write down your accomplishments. Like, what have you already done to get this far? If you've graduated from chiro school, you have already accomplished something that the majority of the population will never do. Like, that's incredible. So whatever this thing is in front of you right now, you absolutely have the ability to do it. Now, maybe you'll have to ask for help. Maybe you'll have to hire somebody. Maybe you'll have to join something like the 56-day chiropractic boot camp to double your business. Maybe you'll have to, I don't know, hire an attorney. But whatever it is, it's so small in comparison to, like Brian said, that dream. What is that dream and what does it look like? And that's why I think it's so important every single day to write your goals as if you've already done them, right? And train your mind how it's supposed to perceive reality. It's so important. Talking about perceiving reality, Dr. Brianna, Sherman graduate, just going to throw that out there. Sherman graduate. Did you have her in class, Brian?
I did. A little bit, yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
She paid off her student loans in 2 years.
Yeah. Can be done.
So what if that is your reality? What if that is your perspective? Instead of looking for somebody to pay your student loans or to do this forgiveness thing that I'm telling you, if it sounds too good to be true, it likely is got some kind of a loophole. I am not a financial wizard, but the people that I've talked to that are in those, that do those things, like, be careful. If you're looking for somebody else to pay your debt, there's typically something that maybe isn't in the small print. Here's what I say: change thousands of lives, earn a huge paycheck, pay off your student loans. That's exactly what Dr. Brianna did. She got a phenomenal education at Sherman College of Chiropractic. Yeah, it wasn't easy.
Well, she worked, and it wasn't like 2 years went by and she just wrote a check.
Right.
So she put the effort in, which is principle 15. She put it in over amount of time, because the time's going to be whatever the time's going to be. And then I just saw the function of force, that's principle 10, is to unite intelligence and matter. So she had this stuff in her office. The existence was a life without student loan debt. And so she was able to then, she had the thought, she had the bits and pieces, but then she worked the thought through those bits and pieces. And that's where Brianna is flipping awesome. And we can all take a lesson from her.
Yes. And put your mind to it, just like Chiro school. Like Dr. Brian's daughter, and Brian and Dawn's daughter just started Chiro school.
Yep.
She's got a grueling few years ahead of her. And if she just simply remembers, like, so many people have gone before me, I can do this. Are you kidding? I can do this.
If that schmuck did it, so can she.
If that schmuck did it, I can do it too, right? So what, as her father and a teacher and a practicing chiropractor, what are the themes of the big advice that dad gives his daughter as she's entering her doctorate program?
Well, one, it's going to be, what I told her today, I said, Sarah, you can handle the material. That's not the issue. And again, anybody that's in chiropractic school can handle the material. You need to be aware of is how fast and how hard it's going to come at you. And you just have to put your nose to the grindstone and, study when you need to study. What are the temptations these days? I mean, I see kids taking these grand vacations, and God bless you for it, but you are sacrificing things off of it. And so, if you're in the vacation, take the vacation. I take them, but I work really, really hard up until then. And to be honest, when I'm on vacation, I'm kind of still thinking about chiropractic. But then and then the other thing is, which this is something we hear with our business program, students don't like what they would call the airy-fairy stuff, the emotional heart stuff. It's like, listen, if you don't know your purpose, then chiropractic college will chew you up and spit you out, because it is hard. And think of anything in your life that you did that was hard, but there was value behind it. There was some reward at the end of it that was worth the struggle. I mean, I've done classes where I worked really, really, really hard and I got a C, but it was worth it to me. And I've done classes where I really haven't done much of anything and I got an A. Well, great, I got an A, but I really didn't get anything out of the class. So big deal. My GPA is a little bit higher, and that doesn't mean anything. A high GPA doesn't ensure that you're going to be a great chiropractor. And so the purpose thing that we talked about, which it actually kind of helped me a little bit, was my daughter looking at a brain in the anatomy lab and saying, Dad, I held somebody's brain. And yeah, our job is to make that brain have the biggest life possible. And I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to write that down and say it to myself. And so, and what I love that she said, because I'm not sure I said this when I went to chiropractic school, certainly initially, it seemed like a cool thing to do to me. But for her, she said, I just want to do something bigger than myself. And it's like, to me, it doesn't get any bigger than giving people the biggest life possible. And so, you know what? If you want to do that, then guess what? It's time. You're going to have to study on weekends. You're going to have to skip some things, right? The rewards. And I'm not saying don't ever not take a break. I'm not saying that. But, get to work, because this stuff's coming at you hot and heavy. Because I see people, the poor things in 12th quarter, when they should be getting revved up and excited, and they look like this. Oh, God. Oh, God. And I just want to hug them all. That's why I buy donuts on occasion. At least pep them up with some little sugar.
Oh, yeah.
But
I had one of those cream cheese donuts.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. The cheesecake donut.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to get them revved up again because of what and I get it. I totally understand it. And so the heart, if there's some advice, just stick with the plan. Have a plan, develop a plan. At Sherman, we have mentors. I would hope other schools do as well. Listen to your mentors. I love, your fact, join the boot camp, make a tribe in school. Who's your study group? Hold each other accountable. Like, hey, I don't get this. Let's work on this type of stuff. It's so terribly important to do all those things, because traditionally, as chiropractors, we put ourselves out on an island, and then we all get frustrated in practice, and we go do other things.
And we say, I'm alone on my island. I'm alone.
Nobody's helping me. But you have so many opportunities, none any better than Dr. Barbara Eaton. So please check her boot camp out if you're looking at something. But you have this opportunity to, it's okay to talk to people that have done it before. I'll hear some students, I don't want to talk to people too far out of practice, because then they'll forget where I've been. Well, that's a big fat lie. So, listen, talk to somebody that's just, 6 months, opened their door yesterday. Talk to somebody that's a year in practice. Talk to somebody that's 5. But don't forget that person that's been doing it for 25, 30, 40 years either, because they still do remember. And yes, some of the technology is different, but just how to do it is the same. So what tool you might use could be a little bit different, but the intelligence and the force you should apply through those tools is just the same.
That'd be like saying, well, I don't want to talk to, like a woman who has teenagers, because she didn't just give birth.
Yeah, well, she doesn't remember what it was like to have a toddler.
Yeah, she still remembers. Or I don't want to talk to, I'm trying to think of another, I don't know. That's silly. Whoever said that, stop being silly. That's a silly comment.
A silly comment.
Don't be so silly. So
yeah.
I have a little thing going to quote across here because of what you said, and that is, don't live your life today as if you're already earning your future paycheck.
Right.
Right? Because it all has a price to pay. And you know what? So 2 things. If you don't know your purpose, get out and serve. If you don't know your purpose, if you don't really know what kind of a practice you want to have, it's totally okay.
Yep.
But you're not going to figure it out sitting around and just thinking and 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 thinking. You've got to have an idea that puts into action. Go and visit if you're not sure, like, hey, Dr. Barb, I don't really know any doctor's offices that I can observe in. Hit me up. I promise you, right now, I could give you 20 doctor's offices that would have an open door to you to come and observe in their practice any day. If
Yep.
you were in the Spartanburg area, go in and ask at Sherman. I know Dr. Cordero would even be like, here's a list right here. Go and ask Dr. Brian, but please go and observe, and that will help you so much in determining your purpose. The other thing I want to encourage all of you is maybe instead of a vacation, serve in a practice. You are going to have so many skills that you need to learn to be successful in business. And the best way to learn them is probably not on a beach. I'm not saying that you don't deserve time off. I'm not saying that at all. But let me tell you, the time off that you take in chiro school, you are going to pay dearly for when you're in practice. And you're going to need, I promise you, more brain capacity when you are in practice, and more toughness and more stick-to-itness and more discipline in practice than you are in school. The facts. Like, I know school is tough. I get it. I've been there. However, there is also a life after school, and you can best prepare. Like, if I could do anything again from day one in chiro school, I would have treated that like it was my practice. I would have already been working on whiteboard topics with anyone that would listen to me. I would have done health talks to stuffed animals. I would have been out asking for referrals, because there's no way you can lose when you're a student.
Right.
You've got tons of support and tons of people there to help you, for sure. So Kat said, OMG, I've never been to chiro school, but so true. Yes, Michael, we love the news hunt.
To your point, I mean, we had an issue at a class with a student that didn't like a grade that they got on a project because it brought down their grade. And so then I happened to grade that project for another class. And so as you're going through the resolution of this, long story short, there was a glitch. And I said, well, come see me. Let's talk this thing through and see why I chose to grade it the way that I did. And I said that through the instructor. And still haven't heard from the kid. And there was a glitch with another one of their assignments. And so when the instructor worked out their assignment, this kid did end up getting a 90. So he gets the A, which is great. That raises your GPA, but you still haven't come to talk to me about why the assignment was what I felt was not up to snuff. So go. The GPA doesn't guarantee you squat. And if I could go back, and my wife's still on there, she could tell me I worked crazy hard to get straight A's, which I didn't get. I spent way more time on things I shouldn't have been spending time on. Versus doing just what Dr. Barber said, working on whiteboard topics, practice and answering the phone, practicing, here's how I'm going to greet somebody when they come in. Here's how I'm going to say goodbye to somebody. Those things, that's the stuff that we need to practice as chiropractors. Learning about, hey, what do I need to do? Maybe, the day that, all right, now's the day where I got to apply for insurance. Well, maybe I should have been looking into that stuff a month or two beforehand and seeing, because I've heard before it's so hard. All right, well, then do some prep work and see where do the mistakes come, or, whatever it is. How am I going to move around a table? How am I going to move around my office? I've got, there's my stapler. I know that it's there because that's its spot. And if it's not there, then my CA hears about it. And well, why is it a big deal? It's a big deal because this is what's going to make me efficient when I know where everything is in that office and it's put exactly where it needs to be. And then because I told her today, I said, we're going to sit down and make a list. Now, you've got the checklist of things we want done, but we're going to give you a very specific order so you don't have to think about it. And it's not that I want her to be robotic. I just want her to come in and perform. The office is up and running, so when I come in, piezoforms are blazing, and we just get to work, and she's being the traffic cop that she needs to be, versus worried about, did this get done, did that get done? Here's the procedure. And so we're going to take our checklist, and now we're going to make it a procedural list. And so she's been wonderful helping with a lot of things, but it's like, yeah, these are the things that just have to get done at these moments. But that takes time to work that stuff out. And so yeah, please get with boot campers, get with whoever to say, all right, how can I take what I learned in clinic and make this practice applicable? Some of it is, but there's a lot of stuff probably that you're not doing as a student clinician that you do need to do as a business owner. I mean, I was never worried about a bill when I was in chiropractic clinic. I didn't care that the lights were on. I didn't care who got the face paper. I didn't care about who made sure the gowns were in good shape. I didn't care about, emptying the garbage cans. I didn't, yeah, garbage cans got to be emptied, or hello, maintenance, we got a toilet clog. But you are the maintenance department when you're in practice. And so you're going to take on all those roles of things you never thought about. And so, yeah, start thinking, and you know what? If you think about that stuff now and you get a B or even a C, so what? You'll be better off down the road. Because then what you'll get, you'll get B's later. They'll be Benjamins, is what you'll be getting.
Right.
And those are the B's we like. We like Benjamins. So those will be the B's that you get working some of these things out. Get through school, but don't forget that you're not getting through school. You're getting to practice chiropractic. And so it's getting through school is not the goal. All that does is put you on the starting line.
There you go. It's
so, yeah.
Like school just gets you a ticket to the game.
That's it.
Like that's all that it does. And right. Maybe you're like, yeah, Barb and Brian, like you guys don't remember. It's so much harder now. Compared to what?
Yeah, no, it isn't.
No, it's chiropractic college. Like hard is what you make of it, right? Like hard is absolutely what you make of it. There are I was talking to, actually, she joined the boot camp, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago. And she started chiro school with 3 children in elementary school and had 2 more kids while she was a student. Like, okay.
I don't even like to walk around that many kids.
So that presented all kinds of challenges that maybe most of us don't have. And she still finished. And so, like, our definition of hard, I just encourage all of you, what you tell yourself becomes reality. So when we tell ourselves, oh my gosh, this is so horrible. Oh my gosh, I need a break. I'm not saying don't like self-care. Please don't. And I know I've been kind of labeled as like the hard ass. Well, yeah, that's probably true. I am. But I totally know that what you tell yourself becomes reality. So if I tell myself like, hey, you know what? I want a break versus I need a break. And as well, like be really mindful of what does recharge your batteries. Like if sitting and watching TV doesn't recharge your batteries, that is not relaxation. Really, truly that blue light into your mind that's been looking at a textbook or been looking at a computer all day, I gotta say, neurologically, probably isn't doing your brain any favors. I know it doesn't do mine any favors. So get with those who are in practice. Get with those who, like when I'm on campus, crap me. Like I would love to sit and chat with you and help you work through like what is my purpose and what do I want, and really the key is the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. Like the conversation, I love the conversation actually that you and Sarah had when she decided to go to school, because it was so similar to like the situation that I had. My dad and I talked about it, and it was just kind of like, yeah, that makes sense, I'm going. Like it wasn't like this big deliberation. It was just like, yeah, I'm in. And 2 weeks later, I was visiting Logan and then started school there. So Sarah, congratulations. And I look forward to meeting you face to face when I'm on campus next.
It'll be good. Oh, and one thing is you're talking about all this stuff, and I love how the universe works. So my wife, Dawn, back in, I don't know, late or early August, whatever it was, she took a week to herself to just take a break, right? Then she did take a break. Now, some of that break was working on some paint she's working on and those types of things. She was still working. She was just working without the distraction of me and my son. She totally deserves that. And so, she came back, and one of the books that she had read was The 4 Agreements.
Oh.
that we're talking about is, you know, I just finished reading it yesterday. So I'd read it on a couple of flights, and you think about it. So, you know, one, being impeccable with your word. So impeccable is without sin. And by that, be truthful with it. If you're sitting there thinking about how miserable this is, guess what? It's going to be miserable. But you have the choice to say, all right, this is a challenge that I will overcome. And you will. So then the other thing is, don't take it personal, right? If school just gives you a crap ton of stuff, all right, this is what I got to do today. I just got to get through the day to get to tomorrow. So don't take it personal. And by personal, the bad stuff that people say, don't take the good stuff either, right? Because that's just ego driven at that point. So you just sit there, know who you are, which is why that purpose thing is so doggone important. Then the other thing is, don't make assumptions, right? Oh, I heard this about this class, so I know it's going to suck, right? Or I heard this about practice, it's going to suck. Well, don't do that. Maybe it sucks for that person because that person sucked, right? And don't suck. And then the other thing is always do your best, and one of the if I may toot my own horn, because Sarah and I were in the car one day, and she was a very good soccer player. And so one of the things as we were talking, I said, Sarah, all I want you to do is do your best. And I said, now here's the important thing. Your best is not the same every day, given on whatever you have going on. And so I will know from the stands whether you're half-assing it or you're just in the meat grinder, but you're giving every effort that you can possibly give. I'm going to tell. And I can tell because I remembered what it was when I was an athlete. I wasn't as good as she was, but I do kind of remember. And yes, people, we do remember things that happened beyond 5 years ago. You know?
Even these gray hairs.
Yeah. There's wisdom highlights that we all have.
Yeah.
But,
and you know,
that's so. I would say this: read the 4 agreements. It's a 138-page book. It's not terrible. And so, but it was, as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, okay. I know why I'm starting to see some success now that I didn't realize that I would have, because sort of subconsciously I'm starting to fit into those agreements. So it's really not me. No, it's living through these agreements that I'm starting to make with myself better and better and better. And I'm doing, for me, cool things that I never thought that I would be doing. And
because you show up, right? You leave it on the field. It's kind of like I don't coach fans, I coach players, because fans are just on the outskirts saying like boo, hiss, where players in there like trying to get another yard or trying to prevent another yard. And I mean, life is a contact sport.
Yeah.
It's a contact sport. You are going to crash. I crash all the time. Are you kidding me? Like on a regular basis. I have a text right here from one of my coaches from a blunder, a flop I made this morning. It doesn't mean I just, screw it, I suck.
No more Facebook Lives. I'm out.
I'm done. Check out. Somebody else step in. And we all go through that. And so I just want to encourage those of you who are watching today or will catch this on repeat, like that dream that keeps coming in your mind. It's God saying to you, this is what I want you to do. This is the gift that only you can bring to this world. Like he keeps throwing it at you and keeps throwing at you and keeps nudging you because you're the one that is supposed to bring it to this world. So don't step back from it. Lean in. Wherever you are in your life, you can take that next step forward for that dream becoming reality that only you are equipped to do. And all of your life experiences up until this point and the ones that are going to come, those were all designed for that dream to become reality. So remember to be mindful of your thoughts. Guard your thoughts, and especially guard the thoughts that then come out of your mouth, because those words do direct your steps. They do direct your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others. And no, you're not going to be perfect. I'm not. One day I was. I never woke up that day, but one day, no. None of us are perfect. Like that'd be so boring. We've all got lots of knockdowns. It's supposed to be a contact sport. And you know the biggest contact? Hug people. Hug your teachers. You know, one thing I love about Sherman College, everyone I met, if you're a student at Sherman, every single person on campus is rooting for you. All of them want to see you succeed. And if you'll reach out to them, they will do anything and everything in their power to help get answers for you, to help give you that support. Like, it genuinely is a family. And if one person said no, ask another one and ask another one and ask another one. Like, always advocate for yourself. And at Sherman College, I know that you will get that help and support you're looking for. So, but I hope I said that all right, Dr. Cordero. No.
Yeah, exactly right.
Go ahead.
It's 𝑘𝙤𝙤𝙤 for the Dr. Cordero. But I would say, and to anybody that, listen, if you're not a Shermie, if you feel like there's something I can help you with, just contact me. I'll be glad to help you with any way that I can as well. And so, you know, because what we're more about the name on the front than the name on the back of the jersey. And the name on the front of the jersey should be chiropractic. And so that's what we with at Sherman. So if there's any way that we can be a resource for you and you are not a student, just call. You know, my email is bdooley@Sherman.edu. Find me on Facebook, because on occasion I'm there. But you know, I'll be glad if I can help you out with it. Glad to give it. So,
and that is genuine. Like, please reach out to us. We may be reaching out to you one day. You never know. So thank you all for watching and for joining us today. We really love and appreciate you, because you love and appreciate those things that we do. So Brian, thank you so much. Next Monday, we will be off. I get to be with my parents in Michigan, and I can hardly wait. So, but we'll be back live. Not this.
You should live with them.
Do a live with them.
You should do a Facebook live with your parents.
We'll probably do at least a few Facebook lives for sure. My mom is usually in the audience, and my dad, every time I answer the phone, he says, "Well, hello, beautiful. How are you today?" It's like, Dad, he's the best. I love him. All right. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. Dr. Brian, thank you so much for your time. God bless you all. See ya. Peace.
Bye.